Oh, we're we're on. I am no good at this, and evidently my desk is in a storage area. Yes, it is. Um, but that's all right. Let's go with what we've got. Um, well, today started out all right. Didn't necessarily end on a banger of a note. Since my mother passed away back in February 23rd, which was 8 days after my 60th birthday, I've had all manner of things kind of dredging up from my subconscious. Oh, great, I've got help. God, this is a train wreck. Um, Cat's gonna be the best thing about this video, I guarantee it. Um, but I had the idea. Normally, I'm very reluctant to. Oh my God! Would you stop stepping on the keyboard? Just sit. I had the idea, since I'm actually very reluctant to show myself on camera. Obviously, not some kind of a raving beauty here. Um, so I was like, I don't know, it just struck me that fuck it, people who um, aren't photogenic or well spoken um, or whatever else that aren't one of the stellar ones. We have the right to express ourselves too. It's kind of one of those things, like that expression that music was better when ugly people were making it. Well, I'm not entirely sure that um, web content will be better when I'm making it, but what the fuck? Um, just so as you know, I'm completely sober. I'm just a train wreck as far as doing this kind of thing goes, but I like to be real, and I like to show people that, you know, you, you should be real too. Enough with this, like all these filters and crap. I'm not using any filters. If I were, don't use this one. I did use a small amount of foundation because my rosacea is flaring up. Oh my God, just everything is going to go on here with this. I can't even. I wish I did drink or do drugs or something. It's ridiculous. I guess I should leave that on. I have to move something around. Anyway, so I participate in some of these writer tube streams, author tube, whatever the heck you want to call it. And was in one today, and like an idiot, I started feeling like, okay, these people have been pretty cool. It's okay to, let my hair down, confess the truth about some of my insecurities, and maybe somebody will vibe with that, or maybe have some suggestions for kind of getting over that, or something of that nature. um God, nothing against the host of this stream, and I'm not even going to say who it is, because I don't have a problem with them at all. He's a good person, and tries to be very supportive. But what I learned as far as people in general, and I'll bet that most of these people would say that they're the kind of people who are compassionate towards people who have psychological and neurological issues, both of which I have. But, when our differences really start coming out and really rise to the surface, they most people don't know how to deal with somebody who is psychologically, neurologically different. And since I had made myself vulnerable by talking about some of my, oh God, some of my insecurities around writing or having my work read or critiqued, I was, feel kind of like this open wound here or something. And I was, I said part of the thing is I don't have problems dealing with the kind of editing critique about, the technical stuff like line and copy edits. I don't have any issue dealing with that. It's mostly a thing of, oh, how did I miss that? Or, yeah, I guess I could word that more concise. Or, yeah, I just use awfully a whole lot, the filler words. Everybody seems to have their own particular beloved ones that they use a lot. And but when it comes to developmental editing, I get very overwhelmed by it unless it's like a short story, for instance. Then I guess there's not a whole lot you can say other than it would be better if you moved this paragraph to the beginning, and yeah, that's fine or whatever. But with um, longer work, sometimes I'll just get overwhelmed by all the feedback and go, shit, I guess I didn't do as good of a job as I thought I did, and so I'll abandon the project. And I was trying to talk about that, and I just like, part of the thing is I started getting like mired in self-loathing, that kind of thing. And, I'm getting this feedback like, LOL, why self-loathing? I'm not sure what's funny about that. But it just kind of devolved from there where I felt like I was being both um, ridiculed and patronized. I'm like, yeah, I'm leaving. This is not going well. And then I just sort of felt bad about it and felt stupid for putting myself out there, making myself vulnerable like that. Shit, I thought, like I said, I thought I might get a couple people who are like, yeah, man, I have that too. Or, yeah, I used to deal with that, but here's what I did. I got to scoot myself back. Hold on. Okay. That's not an attractive move, but have problems. My lower back, specifically the L4 and L5, and sometimes I've got to scoot around or end up with pain I don't need. Anyways, so for some of you who have followed me for a while, you're probably aware that some of what I deal with, well, ADHD for one thing, and I did not know I had that until I was in my 50s. And it made a lot of sense, know what was going on with that, but I'd always just been told you're selfish, you need to pay better attention, you're lazy, you're flaky, you're unfocused about anything you can think of. That was kind of the feedback I was getting. And there's some dyslexia mixed in there. And just so anybody who's not familiar with it knows, there's different presentations with dyslexia, and one of mine is in pattern recognition with like visual forms, and I was given this IQ test when I was in the 6th grade where it's like this block is halfway filled in or something. Which block most resembles this block? And I'm like, fuck, I don't know. And so I was labeled as borderline retarded, and that really stuck with me. And because of coordination issues, a lot of ear infections mostly messed up my equilibrium. Um, and so I got put in this special gym class. There's one thing I hate, it's being labeled as special. No, I don't know. I know I'm an odd duck, but don't call me special. Anyways, so kind of started feeling that. I deal with complex PTSD from stuff that happened way back and was repeated in various ways. Things that happened from getting into situations where I didn't take care of myself because I didn't value myself at all. Anyways, I think this has gone on a while, but something I thought of, one of my favorite, it's a little mini series, maybe 10 years back now, when I saw it, called River. It was about, starts Stellan Skarsgård, and I apologize if I brutalized his name, but he starred as a police detective who saw ghosts, and one of them was his late partner, who he had romantic feelings for. But at one point, he's talking to the police psychologist, and he says that if you're different or strange or damaged, they lock you up. And one thing I would add to that is they also shut you out. And I kind of, at this point, I kind of embrace it. I'm different, strange, damaged. It, and yeah, I always end up where I come to that point where it's like, it's so obvious you don't understand. It's so obvious that nobody understands. And I'm, I'm kind of trying to take a, just sort of logical approach to that and point that out. And I don't know. I'll probably make more of these, and I may even make them at night like this, so you don't have to see all the junk in the storage area. Yeah, I'm living the queenly life. I actually very much like this house, but it's an old house, yeah. And we got a lot of crap and a lot of things to go through. And at some point, I may talk about the troubles I developed with, hoarding when I was younger. And we're still dealing with some of that, but at least now we aren't dealing with storage units, and a lot of it's papers and things. I gotta get the shredder going. But yeah, I just want to say that if you're one of those different, strange, or damaged people who just feels like you kind of don't belong in the mix anywhere, you're not alone with that. Maybe at some point I will bring out the tarot cards and do a little reading on that or something. I don't know. Anyway, like I said, this has probably gone on long enough, and hope you'll excuse me rambling. I may get a little more used to it as time goes on. Um, I could bring out the duct tape and do a old red-green shtick from a female point of view, though, straight female point of view. Say, hey, if the men don't find me beautiful, they'll at least find me handy. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to do all those, skits where they end up kind of wrecking everything. I also don't have access to old cars and whatever that I could destroy. But yeah, so that'll be it for the first one. And I hope maybe this inspired you somehow, even if it's just to say, well, my God, if she can do it, certainly I can, because, oh, Lordy, what a train wreck. Anyways, have a good night and peace. Well,